Carmel, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saeed. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, viewers, share our Facebook page. We are live on Facebook also. When we go live in studio, we're also live on YouTube. It's TT Real Talk. On Facebook, it's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like and share, viewers, as we go live. So as we go straight into our current affairs program tonight, Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM will be having a pre-Independence Day commemoration on August 30th in front of City Hall, Knox Street in Port of Spain from 5 to 8 p.m. Here to start Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM is so eager right now that they are looking for every little thing to blame the UNC, blame the UNC, blame the UNC. Now, the event called For the Love of Liberty was described by PNM Lady Vice Chair Dr. Nyan Gasby-Dolly as being an education and culture experience. Speaking at the media during a conference, Gasby-Dolly said the event was not a party, but an educational event. Listen to this.
But we are aiming to have a really wonderful event that involves elements of a procession, a light show. So we're asking persons to come with your cell phones charged. It really is a solemn event. It's not a party. It is a solemn event that is educational as well. And we're asking people to bring their children and their families because it really is to ensure that we understand the importance of this commemoration. It's not about, just enjoying the cultural parts of it, even though we are going to have some aspects of culture, some dance, of course the national instrument, the steel pan, and some cultural and national street food that we will have provided for the public. However, it really is about the importance of independence, the history of independence, and so it's going to have some aspects of those things melded together in a very enjoyable experience.
So viewers, she said people should bring their families and their children out to enjoy the event.
It's a free event. It is going to be in the front of City Hall, so it's an open event so that we can cater for as many people to come as possible. And so we are looking forward to you joining us to commemorate the independence on the eve of independence. It's on Saturday, August the 30th in Port of Spain. So we're looking forward to having you there.
So now viewers, the opposition leader Penelope Beckel said the PNM was inviting everyone to come out and celebrate the 63rd independence of Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
We are having an event on
Independence Day Eve.
Yes, well, we'll be having it, just at City Hall in the area of Woodford Square, and we are inviting everyone to come so we can celebrate. Of course, the Prime Minister dared me to have a parade. It's not about a parade. We are having an event to recognize the importance of our anniversary. And we are inviting everyone to come.
This is the first time I'm hearing how the PNM is telling Trinidad and Tobago, we should recognize how important it is. Fixing the country is better than recognizing. I want to let you understand that. Fixing our problem is better than recognizing our problem. And that is where we just lack understanding. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, moving along, with just 2 weeks remaining before the new academic year begins on September 8th, the opposition is questioning the government over what it calls a delay in distributing the promised school supplies and book grant. However, the government is assuring parents will receive the grants well before the new school year gets going. The release stated that 5,248 payments have been made to date, with 14,752 payments still outstanding, the ministry assured all payments will be made by September 5th, days for the opening of the new school year on September 8th. Former Education Minister Dr. Nian Gasby-Dolly previously called for an update on the book grant and even laptops. Listen to this.
We would have implemented this as government, the PNM, in 2024. And based on our experience at that time, we would have moved up the schedule for application. So applications were actually between December 2024 and January 2025. So therefore, in April, when this government would have taken office, those applications would have been well in and being processed. So at this time, we are about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks since the government has extended the vacation period. We are about 3 weeks away, and we have not been hearing anything from the Ministry of Education with regards to those grants. And parents are very concerned. We also have the situation of thousands, tens of thousands of persons who are out of jobs now, and who are depending on that book grant to be able to assist their students. And we have not heard anything, and we would like to hear from the government.
So now, viewers, the government is releasing payments. By the 5th of September, the 14,752 payments will be made. Now, opposition leader Penelope Beckers also called on the government to distribute the book grant promptly. The Education Ministry said school supplies and book grant payment were being forwarded to the bank account numbers provided, and from today, August 26, check collection will be available at Educational District Office nationwide between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. So Trinidad and Tobago, the Education Ministry wants you all to understand that payments are being made. Checks will be available at the collection department in the Educational District Office nationwide. Imagine the PNM now is interested in education. They are interested in that the parents get the check on time. We have schools in Trinidad that needs repairs. We have bullying in school to fix. We have children carrying weapons in the school. But you know, nobody talks about this. Nobody from the former ministry talks about it in order to fix it. Now that the new government is running Trinidad and Tobago, all the ministers from the opposition side want answers. They're demanding. They want a quick response. When you were there for 9 years, what did you fix? What did you fix? And this is what I've been telling people. I am not here for fame, you know. I was famous before I reached on TV. I always say that. I was famous before I reached on television. But nevertheless, viewers, we're moving along. Opposition leader Penelope Beckers is asking the government to ensure that pensioners and workers are paid on time in August. I tell you, it's real demands now, you know. It's real demands. Beckers said she and other PNM MPs had received complaints that pensioners and some daily rate workers were getting their payments late. Penelope.
Several of his constituents are complaining about late payment of their salaries. It is one thing to have sent home more than 30,000 persons. And it's another thing for the average person, the MTS worker, the daily rated worker, those working in local government, pensioners, days later after the end of the month, to be receiving, when you go, you know how difficult it is for the average person to go to the bank, and you have no money. So we are calling on this government to ensure that people receive their salaries on time.
So Trinidad and Tobago, this is not the first time this has happened. This is not the first time this incident has happened. It happened on many occasions where pensioners were calling this program and they would say that they are not getting their money. They are not getting their checks. So this is not the first time that these incidents have been happening. For the last 9 years, it has been happening. There was some form of delay, whether it's government releasing checks, government releasing funds, whether it's TT Post, whether it's the mailman. Down in Barapore, this is a custom happening. Pensioners have to leave Barapore to go quite Princetown to get a check, pension check. And sometimes when they reach Princetown, it's not there. It's not there. Many, many, many occasions. People call in the program and complain about, oh, they may get their pension and they may get their social welfare checked and what does he keep back and things like that. So, penny demanding now? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. She said it was almost the end of August and parents especially would be under pressure. Beckles called on the finance ministry to ensure that salaries were paid on time. Listen to this.
We are in the month of August. We are coming to the end of the month. We know very well that the average parent, and some of them living basically day to day, week to week, and to go and not receive your salaries and not get any indication that you're not going to get your salary, because daily rated workers were supposed to get paid last week. They were supposed to get paid on Friday, and they have not gotten paid. I am sure that all ministers receive their salaries on time and in the bank. So please, to the government, whatever is the reason that the Ministry of Finance is not able to pay salaries on time, we are calling on them, please, pay salaries on time.
So Trinidad and Tobago. However, Finance Minister Devendra Tanku in response said, ask the opposition leader for exact specific. You may be surprised. I wouldn't be. That is from Devendra Tanku. Now, Social Development and Family Service Minister Vandana Mohit asked whether Beckles was referring to pensioners receiving their senior citizen grant or those receiving pension from the National Insurance Board. So Devendranath and Vandana is asking Penny now, so who are you talking about exactly? Is it pensioners receiving senior citizen grant or is it receiving pension from the NIB, which is the National Insurance Board? So Penny now needs to come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago what exactly is she referring to. What exactly? Because you heard it. She said she and several other ministers getting calls that individuals not getting their pension. But the thing is, which pension? National Insurance Board pension or senior citizen grant? There's two different types of pension in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you didn't know, tonight you know. That's something new you learned. But nevertheless, viewers, I expect the PNM ministers to demand a whole lot of things now that they are in the opposition. And like I said, within the 4th month of the UNC coming into office, it will give them sufficient time for a portfolio to assign to them, for them to know their ministries, for them to know the do's, the likes, the don'ts, and how to move forward. So within 4 months' time, I'm going to tell you something. From September, you're going to hear me asking UNC ministers now, what about this? What about that? What about the next? What is the delay? Because I'm going to be asking questions just like the opposition. So we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, PM, Kara community, fractured, long time, when we return. I stand.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. Now, viewers, from Real Talk Financing, remember I said that on the 1st, we'll be celebrating Independence Day in Trinidad and Tobago. 63rd Independence we'll be celebrating. And Real Talk Financing have something for the public, but on Wednesday night, Trinidad and Tobago, you all are going to be surprised what Real Talk Financing is going to do for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. When I heard the idea, I was like, yes, Trinidad and Tobago are going to love it. They're going to love it. So on Wednesday night, I'm going to tell you what Real Talk Financing is going to do for the public. I'm going to tell you something. You are also going to love it. But, you know, sometimes you just have to wait. You know what I mean? So, on our program tonight, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has defended her foreign policy, insisting she makes no apology for supporting the United States in its mission in dismantling drug cartel. Responding to questions about criticism from former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, Persad-Bissessar reiterated that her government stands firmly with Guyana against any act of aggression by dictator Nicolas Maduro. Rowley has since accused her of having lit a match in the Caribbean and pursuing the most reckless foreign policy. The PM dismissed Rowley's CARICOM arguments, noting that several CARICOM nations had already been fractured before my comments. So Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to understand something. Over the years gone by, we have been hearing foreign news, and all ministers in a Caribbean country has been complaining and have been complaining about drugs entering their country. About drugs entering their country. How do we combat drugs in the Caribbean? How do we combat illegal drugs and guns and ammunition and prostitution, human trafficking? How do we fix that in the Caribbean and in CARICOM? Seminars after seminars, symposiums after symposiums in the CARICOM. Even CARICOM heads complain about it. Even Trinidad and Tobago, we complain about it. So Kamala Persad-Bissessar is making a very firm stand in supporting the United States. Supporting the decision that Donald Trump and his administration took into combating the drug cartels in the Caribbean. Now, viewers, our former Foreign Affairs Minister is upset because of the fact that Kamala took a stand. Kate is upset because she took a stand. Let me tell you something. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is doing what she thinks is right for Trinidad and Tobago. And I want you all to understand this. We in this country, or the UNC administration, is not going against foreign policies. The UNC administration is not opening up no doors into having Trinidad and Tobago be exiled. So all these ambassadors and professors and all these who are saying to Kamala, they are surprised and they hope we don't end up in exile and we have to be careful. No, shut all your mouth. Because when we the citizens in Trinidad and Tobago complaining about the drugs and about the guns coming in illegally into our borders, we don't hear all your complaining. We don't hear you all giving a solution to fix the problem. For 9 years, we didn't hear you all. We did not. So while the citizens of Trinidad were complaining about home invasion and illegal firearm, I didn't hear you all. So tonight on television, live on my program, I'm telling you all professors, rock back and zip all your mouth. I don't care how all you take it. Oh, Kamala should be careful of what she's saying, and we hope Trinidad and Tobago don't end up as enemies. Zip all your mouth and rock back. I telling all you that. All those professors, well, Saieed telling all you, rock back and zip all your mouth. Now, let me tell all of this. Almost 4 years back, my son was almost kidnapped by bandits with illegal firearms. I ain't hear no professor saying, well, too much kidnapping taking place, too much illegal firearms on his street, too much a home invasion. Where all these professors gone? But because Kamala took a stand now, all they get a voice. When the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago complaining, where was all your voice? All they eat domino biscuit for 9 years. So tonight now, I am telling all these professors and them who is going against Kamala for taking a stance. Let me tell you something. The U.S. military take too long to come in Trinidad. They take too long to come in the Caribbean. Hence the reason why I just always ask ministers and ambassadors and professors, have your family ever been threatened? Have you all ever gotten robbed? Did someone ever stick a gun to all your head? Did that ever happen to you? Well, I am a father whose son was almost kidnapped. And I took a stand. What stand are you all taking? Let me tell you something. I'm glad if the U.S. Marine could come and set up base in Trinidad. We would be better off. We would be better off. Remember when Dr. Rowley was asking the U.S. for help concerning illegal firearm? I can't remember that. Now he's complaining, now he's going against that now. And it's the same U.S. Marines them coming in Trinidad or coming in the Caribbean. But he vexed with Kamala. Where you vexed for? They had a big meeting, you went up to the meeting. I believe you spoke about it. You need help from the U.S. They want to prevent illegal guns from the U.S. now coming into Trinidad. You see Trinidad and Tobago, you see politics is a serious thing, you know. 1 minute it's good, but the next minute it's bad. When the U.S. send down troops now to the Caribbean to fix the problem, Keith saying Kamala shouldn't do that. So who you want us to side with? Maduro? A sanctioned country? So, what I want Keith Rowley and Stuart to come out and do is to explain to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago why we paid them $1 million US and what we got. Dr. Rowley should talk about that. Amy Brown should talk about that. Stuart Young should talk about that. $1 million US given to Maduro while the businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago we want to line up in our line in front of the bank to get $200 per day. Per day. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, nevertheless, Passad Business has said that the Caribbean is already on fire, engulfed by the flame of illicit drugs, gun, and trafficking. The cartels are fueling crime and violence across our borders and within our own communities. You know who I'm not hearing? Fitzgerald Hines. How are we not hearing from Fitzgerald Hines now? How are we not hearing from him? Where is Marvin Gonzalez? Gonzalez, I believe. Where is Marvin? How come Marvin is not voicing his voice? It's sad, it's sad. Kamala, she's asking, why is he paying him against dismantling the cartels? Pointing out that Rowley and Maduro were allies. She said Rowley is now trying to defend his friend with baseless attack against the Guyanese people. Remember when Ghani, I believe was Barajak, they told the Prime Minister, let's keep all the refinery. They are going to build one. I heard that story right here. Right here on my program, I heard that stories. Now remember, I know what's going on in Guyana because I have business in Guyana. Now Trinidad and Tobago. Kamala, she said, whether CARICOM liked it or not, the U.S. was the only power, or has the only power, with the capacity to disrupt the cartels at scales. Trinidad and Tobago, we ask for help. Even Dr. Rowley asked for help. But now he is wondering why. But nevertheless, the Marines are on their way and they will be here to dismantle the cartels. Before we go any further, viewers, or before we go for a break, tonight I want to wish Navin and Amelia a happy 7th anniversary. So Trinidad and Tobago, everybody's hearing me talking about Navin. So tonight now, this is Navin. And his beautiful wife, Amelia. Normally when we have any sort of singing or entertainment, remember Amelia is a songbird. That's a songbird. And Navin is live streaming. They also have a band. So tonight, we at Real Talk Studios want to wish Navin and his beautiful wife a happy 7th anniversary. And may God grant them 70 times more. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, ex-CPEP board, I acted in good faith. More from this when we return.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So welcome back, viewers. A former member of the CPEP Company Limited, the board, has insisted she acted in good faith when she supported the extension of hundreds of contracts earlier this year, saying she was assured by the then chairman that the cabinet had recently approved the move. In a response to the pre-action protocol letter from attorney Ramlal on behalf of CPEP, the ex-director Camille Hussein thought through her attorney detailed her account of the event leading up to the controversial decision. According to the letter, the board member confirmed that a WhatsApp group chat was used for communication among directors. The chairman, the corporate secretary, and the CEO. On April 22nd, she attended a routine board meeting in person, but said no mention was made of cabinet approval for contract extension. Now, Trinidad and Tobago. This is a former member of the CPEP company board. I want to let her listen carefully. The next day, after the meeting had concluded, the then chairman alleged posted a message in the group chat stating that the cabinet had approved a 3-year extension for contracts due to expire in 2025 and 2026. The board was told that a note would follow from the CEO. Now, a lawsuit over the termination of 336 contracts that would have cost the government 1.4 billion is on appeal on a preliminary issue after the High Court stay and referral to the Director of Public Prosecution. So Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. This CPEP thing, it is unfolding as the days go by. As the days go by. So what we need now is to reach at the head of it. Who was the person that said the board or the cabinet approved all contract? Does Faris know anything? How come we are not hearing Faris again? And one by one, board members are coming out. They are coming out. And they are coming out. So hopefully, viewers, very soon we should reach the end of this thing. Very soon. URP, CPEP, reforestation workers, and I will be right here, live from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the news to you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So we are going to wait, viewers, one by one they are coming out, and we're going to see how it goes from there. Moving along. An overall passing grade has been given for the government in the government of Trinidad and Tobago first 100 days since attaining power. The government is also being hailed for its decision to split the Ministry of National Security into two stands. The Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Homeland Security. Executive Advisor Wally Henry sees this as strategy and listen to this.
However, the administration can be applauded in where the strategy is one, dividing the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Homeland, for that type of focused effort both at home and at sea. So it's yet to see the benefits that will take place. We all know across the Caribbean region, once a state of emergency is implemented, you will see an automatic reduction in crime. So as a society, we can have safety in an interim measure. We want to be able to see a bolstering of our national security apparatus.
Where the energy sector is concerned, Mr. Henry believes that the government defense of Guyana, as it relates to the conflict between the South American countries and Venezuela, is also a strategic move which can potentially see Trinidad and Tobago benefiting from the country's oil boom. He also believes that policy shifts made on tax will bear fruits. Listen to this, viewers.
The Revenue Authority, withdrawing the property tax bill. So these things would have short, exact influence on persons who would have had that bill to pay from in terms of our disposable income. So from that perspective, promise made, promise kept. But in terms of the macro and structural issues, that still remains. And that can only be solved with a new budget where this administration will be able to state what are their fiscal priorities, what they will focus on, and how they will transition the economy from a place of stagnation or cash crunch into some form of revenue generation.
So now, viewers, everyone is watching the economy. Where the economy is concerned, he added that all eyes are on how the government transitioned the economy out of stagnation and into revenue earning. Mr. Henry said the new fiscal priorities outlined when the budget is presented will dictate the economy focus of the government. So Trinidad and Tobago, everybody's waiting for the budget. We want to see where money is being allocated to. We want to see who's getting the bigger chunks, and we want to see what the present government is going to do to generate funding now for a better Trinidad and tomorrow. Like I say, from September month, I'm going to be demanding. I am going to be demanding. What is the plan for this? What is the plan for that? How long is it going to take to generate this? Why is this happening? Where is this? I'm just giving them a little time to settle down. Just a little time to settle down. But nevertheless, viewers, as we move along tonight, the Ministry of Social Development and Family Service, Vandana Mohit, have stated that investing in parents and children is not just a family matter, but a national priority. This, as she underscores the importance of responsibility, parenting, during a certificate distribution ceremony for participants of the community-based parenting program. The initiative designed to equip caregivers with practical tools and comprehensive support. So, participants from all parts of Trinidad successfully completing the program. Mohit said, the role of parenting can be both challenging and rewarding, but through workshops like these, parents are empowered to create safe and more productive communities. Listen to this.
Nelson Mandela once said, the true character of a society is revealed in how it treats its children. These words remind us that investing in parents and children is not just a family matter, but a national priority. When children thrive, communities become safer and more productive. And when communities are strong, our nation prospers.
A mother of two, Andrews, also encouraged parents to support one another and remain open to guidance. Listen to this.
Be willing to learn from others. Be willing to learn from adults. Be willing to listen. Before someone corrects your child, be willing to let them be receptive of that correction. Our teaching is not only the right way, and we see how it is now in society. We need each other. So be receptive of getting advice from others, and that will take you a long way.
So viewers, the minister also reaffirmed her ministry commitment to protecting children by empowering parents with the skills and support they need. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, workshop to assist with OCI cards. More on this when we return.
We'll be right back.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, viewers. India High Commissioner of Trinidad to Trinidad and Tobago has announced the upcoming workshop to assist Indo-Trinidadians in accessing Overseas Citizens of India cards, that is the OCI cards. During the visit to Trinidad by India Prime Minister Narendra Modi in July, he revealed that the OCI cards would be extended to the 5th generation of India origin individuals in Trinidad and Tobago. The Constitution of India does not allow holding India citizenship and India citizenship of a foreign country simultaneously. However, based on the recommendation of the High-Level Committee of India Diaspora, the government of India decided to register persons of India origin of a certain category, which allow persons holding the OCI card to have multiple entry, lifelong visas and visiting India for any purpose. Listen to this.
Up to the 6th generation, I take this opportunity to convey that all the relevant information is available on High Commission's website, and we wish to carry out some workshops for all the interested individuals, ladies and gentlemen. In the coming days, one of those workshops will be held in the NCIC here in this campus. Please join that. Please understand more about the procedure and all, and please connect with the land of your ancestors so that you can travel easily, you can do business there, and you can engage more and more.
So, Tetron Barracks breached again. Murder accused Saieed Ali was among 15 men who the state yesterday issued a detention order for under the state of emergency, SOE, The order was gazetted yesterday. According to the order against him, which was signed by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, Ali is alleged to have conspired with Great Gang Alliance to imminently carry out targeted killings of law enforcement officers and other public officials in public space using high-powered rifles. The order added that Ali was able to traffic in prohibited articles within the maximum security prison, the MSP, and communicate and engage in gang activity despite his incarceration at both the prison and the Defense Force base in Chagaramas. Ali was one of 5 inmates moved from the MSP in Aruca to Chagaramas at the start of the SOE on July 18th by Police Commissioner Alistair Grovero. At the time, it was said that Ali had been able to communicate with his affiliates from inside the prison. The order said Ali remained an immediate threat to public safety, and his further detention is necessary as he has shown that he has a means and resource to continue to engage in gang activity despite his present incarceration and is a threat to the safety of the public. A detention order was also issued for Ali's brother Hamid, who is also in prison. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to hear more on this as it unfolds. Caller, good night.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed.
You're live, go right ahead.
Right, so this is not by accident or by vox or vaps. Somebody is doing this dirty work. A thorough investigation should be held immediately, and those responsible should feel the fullest brunt of the law. All the best. Have a great evening, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, we talk about illegal drugs. We talk about illegal guns, illegal firearm, human trafficking, and other illegal contraband entering countries. Countries that's supposed to have their border secured. Now listen to this. The U.S. Coast Guard has offloaded its largest ever haul of drugs. 76,140 pounds of illicit narcotics were being taken off the cutter Hamilton at Port Everglades. Valued at approximately $473 million, it reportedly consisted of about 61,740 pounds of cocaine and 14,400 pounds of marijuana. So look at this, Trinidad and Tobago. So when you hear Trump decides to send his military into the Caribbean, is to fix this problem. Is to fix this problem. Look at cocaine and marijuana. Look at it. 61,741 pounds of cocaine. Imagine that, eh? The total haul was a result of 19 interdictions in international waters of the Eastern Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. Imagine that. And we have ministers in Trinidad and Tobago who is against the present government for siding with the United States in sending troops to the Caribbean to fix this problem that you are seeing on television. Imagine that. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago. It's sad, eh? It's really sad. So do you like the drugs coming into Trinidad and Tobago, or do you want to fix the problem? Are we going to listen to Keith Rowley? Are we going to listen to Stuart Young? Or are we going to listen to Amy Brown? Or are we going to listen to these professors and them who are telling Kamala, well, you better know what you're doing, you know? Which one are you going to listen to? 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, kids are smoking marijuana. How do we fix that? But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, nevertheless, the PNM, Dr. Keith Rowley, they had their time in office. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago decided, you know what? We need a change. They voted for a change. So now I want the UNC administration and those that are presently in power to understand that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago voted for a change. What we need is better roads, better cost of living, better health care, better security, better education, better facilities in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't want to hear about guns on the street. If there's too much guns on the street, what we could do? Give the homeowner guns. Give the homeowner guns. Dr. Rowley said we're going to make Trinidad and Tobago the wild, wild west. But the truth and fact is that Trinidad and Tobago is already the wild, wild west. Why am I saying this? We have more guns on the streets than on the hands of civilians, legally. So how are we going to defend ourselves now when somebody comes to us? That is why you would find in big states around the world, you would find that as long as you're 18 and over, you have a clean record, you can produce certain documents, they give you the authority to buy a firearm. Why? To defend yourself. Defend yourself. And this is something I keep saying. I keep saying that the police station in the community have the authority to fix the community. Until they step up their game, the community is going to continue being bullied. And that is what needs fixing. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, viewers, our run of this program is tomorrow, 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here next night for another live Real Talk with Saieed. Until then, be safe.